Morning, everybody. Thought I'd get up and do another video this morning. It is getting weird. It's getting weird when when you see stuff like Congress. Oh, Rand Paul who was he quizzing some guy that's not even a doctor or a scientist or anything for like Homeland Security or Health Human Resources, and the guys disrespect his diss to people is he calls them flat earthers, and that made Rand Paul mad, man. He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. And that was funny. Where is that video? I'd have to go back and look for it. But that was crazy good. That was really good. And that's funny that's their go-to on us. They call us a flat earther. Nice. Really nice. What do you do with that, right? What do you do with that? But yeah, more and more, you just watch these people that do such great work. Days of Noah and the John Levy's and all these guys, they do such good work. Hey, Alex, how are you? Northern Ireland. All right. I suppose it's evening time there, huh? Having a little Irish whiskey in the evening. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. But yeah, things, are getting weird when Congress has to go in and pass some legislation saying, hey, man, that flat earth stuff, you gotta watch out, man. People are talking about it. And we can't have them thinking that the earth is a stable, non-rotating plane in which that all life-giving force is within everyone's grasp, and it's not some weird little marble floating in a huge bucket of dirt and sand and sludge, and we just happen to be where we are. Yeah, right. The newest videos, man, there's some people, I saw one that, man, that was high tech. That was good. That was good. They were talking about, all the different parameters of, let me see if I can find that one. That one was pretty darn good. Man, it's weird. Sometimes my history, it doesn't keep all the things that I watch in there. It's just like, wow. Really, I don't know where it went. Oh, here we go. This is good. We'll watch this. Yeah, we'll watch this one. This one's pretty good. Let me share.
What if extraterrestrials aren't already here waiting for us to reach out? In the old days, insurance companies were insurance companies.
With an Israeli study that had 2.5 million patients and found that the vaccinated group was actually 7 times more likely to get infected with COVID than the people who had gotten COVID naturally.
Senator, I'd have to get back to you on that one. I'm not familiar with that study.
Well, you think you might want to be if you're going to travel the country insulting the millions of Americans, including NBA star Jonathan Isaac, who have had COVID, recovered, look at a study with 2.5 million people and say, well, you know what? It looks like my immunity is as good as a vaccine or not. And in a free country, maybe I ought to be able to make that decision. Instead, you've chosen to travel the country calling people like Jonathan Isaac and others, myself included, flat earthers. We find that very insulting, goes against the science.
And there it is. But why, Rand Paul? Why? Why are you insulted by being called a flat earther? Oh no! Oh, it's okay. So yeah, if they had just started from the beginning with our time zones and the flat Earth concept, I wouldn't be having to do mental gymnastics to figure out what time it is for Alex there in Northern Ireland. It's crazy. Just do it right, guys. Just do it right. But yeah, people like that, you know, it's an insult calling us flat earthers. Why? Why is that an insult, Rand Paul? I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, a little bit of Rand Paul trivia. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen it. Now, the last big story about it was back during Obama years, where Steve Scalise, I believe, got shot at the congressional baseball game. You all remember that? And that whole big deal. Well, the congressional baseball game was the other day, and I'm flicking around on TV, and I see it. I'm like, congressional baseball game? What the hell? So I look at it and turned on there, and they're playing baseball, and they're actually not that bad. But then you think about, House, there's, what are there, 435 in all? So 200 plus in each group to build a baseball team from. And, some of these congressmen were very recent, within 10 years, college athletes and stuff. So I'm watching this game, and Stubby, who was pitching, hit a home run earlier in the game, and this is regular setup field, 200 plus, 300 to the fence, I guess. I don't remember the distances, but what was funny was they talked about Stubby had hit a home run earlier in the game, and that was the last time they had a home run hit in a game was by Ron Paul. Yeah, the Senator Ron Paul back in 70, what did they say? 70, 77, 79. Hey, what's up? 79 since anybody hit a home run, and it was Ron Paul. Ron Paul. I don't see him having deep power, but that's what they said. I thought that was crazy. But they have this game, man, and I was trying to figure it out. I think I finally did. The Democrats, everybody was wearing, I want to say, team from their area, the team from their state, while the Republicans were all wearing same uniform, red. And they were scoring every inning. There were 2 or 3 runs scored every inning. I didn't watch it all, but just to click it on there and see that and catch that deal about home runs. Sorry, guys. Y'all know I'm usually a little snotty in the morning, and it's getting worse. Fall is falling here for sure. Now I'm paying for it. Well, thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any subjects, please feel free. But I just usually, go with what I'm feeling. I will put the link in the chat. And as usual, anybody basically is welcome to come on. Any of you guys from from Ireland or wherever, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. Where are you from? Where are you from? Sorry, get off track like that. But we're supposed to be insulted now when somebody calls us a flat earther. Okay. All right, everybody. I gotta let the dogs out. Hopefully they're quiet. Come on, everybody. Good dogs. But yeah, I mean, that's now an insult, man. Oh, you're in Tennessee. Cool. I love it. I love it. Brown paper bag. That sounds like something you'd have heard on the Andy Griffith show, right? Oh, I know healing for that, man. I love it. Yeah, my allergies. Wow. This thing. I went out to West Texas last week and saw my parents. And that was a whole new set of allergic reactions to airborne particulate and thus. And it wasn't too awful bad. I'm a sufferer this early in the morning. It's really weird. My whole life, when I first get up, man, boom. Once I get it out, I don't have another problem the rest of the day. But man, first thing, my eyes water, nose runs, sneeze. Ugh, it's misery, just a misery. But on the serious front, I was telling Alan yesterday, man, and I said it in the video yesterday, and it just seems to be more and more prevalent that, God, all these people sit there and they have really good information, really precise. They're getting timelines, nailed down pretty tight, circumstances and all that. And in all their descriptions, they're laying out how things progressively got worse. And then there was an event and there's this reset. And then now here's where we are. But they won't label the event. They won't say that was Christ's return, that was Armageddon. They won't say, okay, the flood happened here, and then the next biblical event happened here. We're the only ones that'll say the first biblical event happened, Christ's return, tribulation, Armageddon, rapture, all that happened, the millennial reign, and this is where we are now, the end times of the devil loose. They won't say it. They won't go there, but they describe it completely. What they're describing is not the description that you would follow if you were doing biblical lead up to Christ's return. This ain't it. What we're seeing, this ain't it. That ain't. Go back and read Revelation again. Go back and read, the Gospels when they talk about the end times and what the rapture and Armageddon is going to be like. That's pretty vivid descriptions, in the timeline and things that are laid out. Now, and the thing that gets me about is if, like I was always told, when the apostles, when anybody talked about Christ's return and their scenarios, it was all metaphor. Well, the thing that gets us is, hey, it was all metaphor. Hey, Stu, they don't read the scripture. Group think is good. Yeah, it is. But they don't ever, nobody modern theology, pew sitters, nobody ever answers the question that we ask all the time. Why would Jesus lie? Why would he lie to all those people? Why would they send all the apostles out and 80 plus more ordained ministers and healers to spread the word of Christ's imminent return. If it wasn't going to happen, it still just makes my head spin over, thinking all these years that I sat there in a pew and they never, ever once alluded to the fact that, and I've heard the verse before many times in church, haven't y'all? Verily, verily, it's in Matthew. Verily, verily, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away until this prophecy is fulfilled. My whole life, they sit there and told me, it's a metaphor. Jesus didn't really mean that you standing in front of me today are going to see my return. How? Come on, guys, y'all got to help me. How has this never been seen and taught and shown? It's just getting more and more frustrating. Oh, hey, there's Ashley. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Ashley. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Tennessee.
Yep, Tennessee. Yes, sir.
What's new in
Been here
them?
my whole life. Oh, I heard you. One, man, it's really nice that you do the whole early morning thing. I really dig that. I'm an early morning person.
Me too.
So
My whole life.
yeah. And then not just that, but the topic that is at hand. Tribulation already happening, and Satan loosed, and he was already loosed a while back, and it's just really it's really good. It's good for a good day to start out your day, to give you, because it's just things you can think about through the day and stuff.
Right.
But what you said, it's interesting that people talk about the mud flood, and they'll bounce around, and they prove themselves. Hey, the tribulation already happened,
Right,
but they just won't say it. And my thing is Jesus saying there are ones standing here that won't taste death,
right.
and they'll see me coming. And I'm like, all right, well, we either got ones on earth that are over 1,000 years old, or he was talking about then.
Right.
I think he was talking about then.
Yeah, it had to have been. Like my brother this last week when I was trying to talk to him about it. He's like, we would know. We would know if Christ returned. We would know. How would you not know? And I'm like, there's a lot of ways you would not know, because your Bible, he returned, he ruled for 1,000 years, and the devil was loosed. Why would the devil, once loosed, go, hey guys, by the way, here's all your biblical information. Your Christ has returned. Here's where we're at. Why? Why would he do that? Why? Right. There's no reason to. And he's like, it's just ridiculous. There's no way. And I'm like, of course there's no way in your mind, because you believe everything you're told.
Yeah. Right. And it's the question, that one question you said. I mean, that is so right on point. That's the one that, Jason and I'll get is, we would know, where are the signs? Where's it at in history? And I'm like, dude, we got a whole flipping timeline of history that's missing.
Look at all of it, man. It's a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's like they let the 5th graders do all the history. Here, kids, y'all write it all down and tell us what's important. Whatever. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. It bounces around. It eliminates. It double speaks. John Levy put out, was it John Levy? No, it wasn't John Levy. Another guy put out a video, and he was going through the Wikipedia and all the historic stuff. And on one page, it talks about how 1861, that there was a flood in this area, and all the telegraph lines, poles were covered in water. And then in a whole nother book in the same kind of section about the same thing says, telegraph didn't get there till 1864. But the other article says, the telegraph poles were covered up in 1861. by a flood. But then the other guy says, yeah, they didn't even get it out here till 1864. It's like, come on, guys, y'all can't even keep your own stories together.
Ever.
When did they get their wireless? When did they get their what do you call it?
I got to the telegraph. What is that thing called?
Telegraph.
Either way.
It's telegraph. Yeah, and
Okay.
the timelines are just off. Come on, guys. At least have that together. You know,
Yeah.
they tell you, oh, this area had 12,000 people, but they built that castle there, and they built that temple there, and they built that these aqueducts.
With the technology that they had horse and buggy. What you mean that you horse and buggied it? You know, that this small amount of people built this within whatever timeline that they say they built it in, you know, 3 years to even 10 years. Heck, these buildings, there's no way with the eccentric design that is in these buildings and the eccentric design that the land is cut out just right. They did not have this technology. They did not have it. There's no way. No way.
Yeah, and even if you did, hey, Nashville, like Static had tried to say, oh, these guys were really organized. They were really smart. They had good jigs. They could line things up and cut things quickly. And, you know, he tried to give them a pass for several of his videos. Static did. And it's like, you wait a minute. You cannot convince us that these people with these horse-drawn wagons and block and tackle, and they couldn't do that. They just couldn't. Number one of the best things Levy says is they didn't have any need. What was their need for a building like that?
Yeah, I dig that. Right?
Who shows up and goes, man, that was a hell of a run. Let's build a temple. Let's build a temple over here so big that people won't believe we did it. Let's just do that first. You know, let's not worry about crops. Let's not worry about, you know, water supplies or other buildings. Let's do that first. Right. Whatever. It just doesn't make any sense.
It don't make any sense. I dig that, man. I dig that, bro. John Levy. Yeah, I listen to him sometimes. That's interesting. I dig that, what he said. Right. It don't. Like, they had no need for it, and that's exactly right. They were so busy with you know, I believe that so much deception came into the homes more when radios, you know, radios and the family would sit around and they would listen to the Raven, you know, the story of the Raven, or they would listen to
mesmerized. They were mesmerized by it.
I believe they were spells, you know, like I really believe 100% the poem, the Raven, is a spell, you know. They were ran by fallen angels, and that technology is fallen angel technology. But you know, people stopped singing around their animals, people stopped praising around their animals, praising around their land. You know, they've seen and done studies on how plants, you know, they react to positive and negative, good and bad words. And you know, if you got the world coming in through radios, and then all of a sudden here's television, and now your eyes are seeing it. You're not just hearing it, but your eyes are seeing it. And the Lord told, you know, the Israelites to forget the things that your eyes have seen in Egypt. Right. You know, and so now, like, it's so corrupted that the plants ain't hearing no goodness, the animals ain't hearing no goodness out of the people's mouths, because that's our tongue. Our tongue is our sword, you know. That technology, man, just connected all over the earth on the electromagnetic grid, you know, those sweet spots. I don't like the Templars. I don't know if anyone else, you know, I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but I believe the Templars, it is a major deception. I totally believe 100% that they were being ran by the fallen angels, the unclean spirits, which are the giants, the demons. I 100% believe it. They were being ran by them. and they
Sure.
were being led to the sweet spots on the earth, and that's why Spain is so covered with these buildings that the Templars built, because, well, Spain is one of the sweet spots apparently, and all over the earth is, but no, there's these certain spots on that grid, and they work with the spots of like CERN and the tokamak that they're building in France, with the pyramids and the mounds,
Right.
Stonehenge. It's crazy how it all just, and it's all laid out perfect. That
Yeah.
can only be something supernatural moving that. Man, back in them days, in horse and buggy days, they didn't
Well,
have.
from what
Yeah.
we're told, they didn't have that ability or the need. But I've been trying to think of a way to articulate it, and you were just hitting on it. And it's how can, in a world that we trust people, number one, with religious teaching, how can it be in a world where we trust people with scientific research and development, that we know that the right diet and the right frequency and the right spiritual mindset and homeogenesis, with earth is optimum way to live. You will be healthier, you will be smarter, you will be productive, happy. We know these things. We know it. We know you can manipulate the mind. We know you can enhance the mind. But we've chosen for recorded history to do the most negative with all of it, every bit of it. Our agriculture, you have depictions of gardens of Edens, and now we have corporate farms where, wait a minute, we know the natural way is the best way, but we do it the opposite. We know that 432 hertz in music is good for you. It helps you. We know that 440 hurts you, but we do the opposite, right? I mean, it's just how did we get to this point if it's not the devil loosed? How? Because every single thing is corrupt. Everything.
Everything.
Pick-
You ain't kidding.
Pick
I
one thing
love
that's
that.
not corrupt. Pick one thing that's not corrupt.
No, you're right. You're right. I get kicked out of chats, or not really kicked out. What'll happen is, like, everybody will just go away. If I get on 3 subjects, brother, 3 subjects, all it takes is 3 subjects. Music, how deceptive music is, because we are musical instruments. We were created to be a musical instrument.
She always says that so militant.
We are.
We are musical instruments.
We are musical instruments, and we were created to be a musical instrument. We were created to praise our holy creator. Our blood vessels praise our creator. The water inside of our body praises creator. That's what we were made to do. We move our hands to praise him. So we're a musical instrument. So I get kicked out for the musical instrument, or the music, because nobody wants to hear it, because you're right. How do we get to the point where they changed it from 432 to 430? Right. Yes. And then pharmakia. No one wants to hear that pharmakia is sorcery, and that the pharmaceutical company has their hand in dish liquid and laundry detergent and everything that we use to wash our clothes and to put on our bodies. That we are putting sorcery on us, and I mean, it's a fact, Jack. But dude, I got in there Gain laundry detergent. I need to make my own laundry detergent. I ain't done that yet. I don't use soaps and stuff that they sell me in the grocery stores and whatnot to wash my body. I use natural soaps and more apple cider vinegar than anything. But dude, this stuff that they feed us is sorcery. Their medication, sorcery. When you got medication with your weeds in your backyard.
I didn't realize how many of our foods have polymers in them. That they've been adding polymers to our food for a long time, especially our processed foods. and they're just almost like microscopic slithers of plastic to fill space for money. It's crazy. Stu said on here, he's talking with us in the chat, and he said it sounds like they're saying they couldn't have done it without aliens, and I never said that. We can do open heart surgery and map the human genome, but not build elaborately given the opportunity. And now here's where people get confused. I'm saying the people of the time that are in the photos that they're telling us immigrated to all these areas, I'm saying those people did not have the need, the means, or the ways to build those things. Somebody else built them. Humans just like us, yes, but not in that time frame and not in those people. They didn't do it. It just doesn't make any sense at all. And for people to go, well, you just don't think the human spirit, they can do it. That has nothing to do with it, the human spirit. It has everything to do with the reset, and these people don't know what they're even looking at, much less able to build something like that. They can figure out, boards and wood and build some wooden structures, but that's about it. The horse and buggy, they've got nothing, but we know there are pneumatic tube systems all over the world, but these people are in horse and buggies. We know there was a reset, and they're trying to tell us these people did it, and I'm not buying it.
Right.
Well, not only that, they call the buildings are always founded, right?
Right.
They're founded in, whatever time. So.
Yeah, they always get these freaking time frames and build times. Oh, it took them 3 years. That thing these days would take 15. Are you kidding me? They did that. Well, there's one video I watched. This guy, he finds this architect that went around Europe, and he built 10 cathedrals in like 10 years, almost one a year. And it's documented that he started this one in like 1861, finished in 1862, started this one in this town in 62, finished 63, did 2 of them in 1 year that were close to each other. And it's like, what? Really?
Well, did you see the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Did you see the video of the Chicago World Fair?
Sure. Yeah.
And they said that they built it in like 2 years, I think.
And then tore it down in 6 months.
And they said that most of the buildings were like just plaster or whatever, like it's all fake. They're trying to cover it up, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're trying to say, oh well, it was all just fake anyway.
Even if it was fake, to build that much that way with that kind of infrastructure and the things they did, the way it was powered, the way it was laid out, the water features, every bit of that stuff to build it in 2 years and then tear it down and tell them before you're done, before you even start the thing, we're going to tear it down. And everybody's okay. And
it doesn't even make sense.
It's just left at that. And the ones that are left are just so amazing. You're like, we want to see more. Why is there not more? And there was. Here's the pictures. Well, where'd it go? We tore it down.
Right.
Didn't want it anymore. We're done with it. Are you kidding me? I've told Alan before, and I think I've said it before on my videos, that I think, and I've heard this from a couple other people, and I've intertwined a lot of my own thoughts in it, is that maybe the World's Fair, all those World's Fairs, were the remnants and the saints during the millennial reign that knew the end was coming. They knew the time was coming. They said, what can we do? How can we warn them? What messages can we send that'll be helpful? And they came up with the World's Fairs, that they came and they erected and had all this technology and all this stuff on their last hurrah. And then bam, the devil was loosed and Jews, everything started getting tore down, war after war, and that's where it started. That's my theory.
That's interesting. That's definitely an interesting theory there. We all have our theories on it. That's something to think about. But when I think about the fairs and stuff, I think about these infantoriums. Isn't that what they were called? Infantoriums?
The
Incubator babies. They had all these incubator babies. So we started doing research when we started getting into the mud flood topic. We started doing research, and somehow, we were led to these orphan trains, and we kind of got stuck on the orphan train.
That's crazy.
The orphans, because it's very interesting. Where did all these orphans come from? And so we started finding out about the founding asylums.
No, foundling.
Foundling asylums. Foundling asylums.
Where'd they find them?
In the infantorium.
Was that the resurrection after 1,000 years?
See those people? Yeah, I believe that was the rest of the dead.
All the children?
Yeah.
You think all the children were Jason's been saying that, and
the
I have
immigrants. And the immigrants. Yeah, the adults too. I think there was a mixture of both. A mixture of both. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of on the same track with that one. Yeah, I think it was the resurrection after 1,000 years.
Yeah, because not a lot of nothing else really explains the influx of just flesh of these people. Whether it's kids or adults, just boom, where'd they come from? And if they came from somewhere, that place ought to be struggling, but they were having the same thing. They were having immigrants. They were having orphan trains all across the world.
So check this out. I started looking at, because my thing was, I was thinking about the Native Americans, and I was thinking, okay, Native Americans are really tight knit, Right. Well, at least from what we understand anyways.
Yeah.
But so I started looking into Native American folklore to see if there was any foundlings in Native American folklore, and sure enough, there's one. He was called Found in the Grass. The child was called Found in the Grass.
Right.
And then there was there's a few of them, and then there's one called Wets the Bed. And so it's just very interesting. So it's in Native American folklore too, which I found interesting with the foundlings.
Yeah, because I mean, until you have a better explanation of just the excess humanity, a light switch got flicked. And the narrative was the babies in the infanatoriums were all about the same age. Got a lot of infants in incubators at the same age. And then the kids on orphan trains, all about the same age. And then you see the docs at Ellis Island, all the adults, the men, are all about the same age, same size.
That's right.
Not a big fluctuation. It's almost like, hordes, herds of them at once. It's like, where'd all these kids come from? Then where's all these old people? It's the best I can figure. Because nothing else makes any sense. They don't have any explanation for them. Well, their parents ever killed in this fire or this earthquake or war or any of it. It's just.
Well, the other narrative was women having bastard children.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? They had over 200,000 children go through these asylums.
Right. Just all of a sudden, there were a bunch of sluts.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
I mean, all in the same time frame, all across the realm. Really? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Just all of a sudden, a bunch of sluts let loose. We're having illegitimate kids all over, and you're gonna deal with them. Whatever.
Right.
Well, guys, it's 45 minutes in. Everybody's rising around here, so I'm gonna shut it off. It was good seeing you guys. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, good talking to you. Excellent conversation, man. So enjoyed it this morning.
Yeah, always fun, guys. Always fun. Like I tell you, got one last word if you want. Say anything.
No.
I think we're good.
We love y'all so much, and have a blessed day.
Thanks. Love y'all too, guys. Discernment and good vibrations. Love y'all. Bye.